Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the CB Baker Show. This is your host, CB Baker. Today, I wanted to cover basically, I did a podcast with Pastor Daniels. We covered change. We talked about how to deal with change. And there's some things that I didn't get to touch on because it was only a 30-minute show. So I wanted to follow up with some of that in this particular episode. So there's no guest today. It's just me talking real quick on going over some of the things that I like to talk about and have other people have asked me about with change. And one of those questions I get is, how do you recognize when change is happening? And it's real um, key to know when change is happening. Now, me and Dr. Daniels talked about how change is always going on. But in this particular instance, we're talking about when things are shifting in a different direction, when there's a significant change um, is about to happen, or it's basically you can feel it in the air. And everybody that's listening to me understands that, especially if you've had a job, you can kind of feel when you're doing a good job, and you also can feel when you're doing a bad job, or you might be on the verge of getting fired, or you might be on the verge of getting laid off. Understanding and recognizing that change is coming. If you really pay attention to what's going on and what's going on around you, you can really feel what's going on. And we talked about that a little bit, about the Holy Spirit helping you out, that still calm voice that's inside you, helping you recognize when things are about to change, and then to help you maneuver around some stuff before it even takes place or hits home, so to speak. And then we've all had that situation to where the next part is denying that we even sense the change. Now, when you deny the change, that's when things really start to happen for the worse. I talked about that before with the Holy Spirit guiding you, acting as a GPS. You have the same scenario with change. If you can feel the change, but you're like, oh no, that is not going to happen. I feel like my job is secure, or I feel like me dealing with my wife and she's doing well. That's okay. I don't have to address it, the change that I feel like is coming in attitude or environment or personality in my spouse or with my friends or something like that. So I'm not gonna worry about it. So when you in denial, that's when really hits you head on, and you get caught off guard because you're like, oh my God, I didn't expect this to happen. But you was kind of expecting it to happen. You was just in denial of it happening. So then your denial caused you to have a whole lot of issues that you now basically got to deal with. But now the flip side of that coin is acceptance of the change that's taking place. And when you accept the change that's taking place, you also get the benefits or the blessings that come from accepting the change that's taking place, because you can now go with the flow of it, or you can step off. Like I say, if the treadmill is going too fast, you can't step off. I've always said that to people. So if you see change taking place to a point that I don't necessarily want to go that way. Things are starting to go left. I don't really want to do that. That's not me. That's not for my quote unquote brand. So therefore I need to like kind of just step off to the side. you know. Um, I remember when I was younger in high school, we would go to a party and stuff, and then people would step off to the side and, start smoking weed and stuff like that. It's like, that ain't me. I'm on my way to college and everything. That ain't my thing. So I stepped off to the side. Well, in that instance, you could smell the change, right? In the atmosphere, like you can smell like, okay, this is turning into something that I don't really want to be a part of. So let me step off to the side, so we go through things in life like that all the time, where we can see and feel and hear things changing, and you can either go with the flow and accept the change and move towards it, or move along with it, or you can step off to the side, because that's you accepting that a change is occurring. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about is that we didn't get to touch on too much was, when is it time to create change? And this is really more for our leadership people out there that are in leadership type of position. The best time to initiate change is when everything is stagnant or you're having an issue with something with your team. Things get boring. Okay. If they get boring, and then what happens when people get bored is they start creating issues and started creating drama, right? So what you got to start doing as a leader is you got to create some form of change. You know, if you're hitting a certain level of certain things, raise the bar up. Create a notion to, hey, we need to take it to the next level. Let's hit this number, right? Or if you need to decrease in something, let's decrease the number down here. Like if you're trying to have a savings goal, let's have a savings goal that's down here to create that friction that gets people to wake up. Because if you don't create some type of friction or change, people get stagnant, they get bored, and then they want to leave. You know, no one likes sitting in traffic on the road. Why? Because you're not moving. I'm not getting to where I want to go fast enough. And you have some people like myself, if I'm listening to a good audiobook, traffic don't really bother me too much. But I know eventually I will what? I will start to move in a direction or to my destination. But can you imagine if you're working somewhere and it just is stagnant and there's no creative change, there's no new experience, or you're with somebody in a relationship and you're dating and it's the same thing over and over and over again, this is the time that you need to create change. You hear people say it all the time. Oh, you know, in our relationship, we need to spice things up. That is nothing but creating some change. Okay. So it's really important that when you're in a leadership role or of any sort, and you see things starting to get stagnant, morale is low, is you're bored, you can create some change. Now, of course, with everything, you have the other side of the pancake, which is sometimes what you hear a lot is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, this is very important. If you are in a system and you got a system that's working and it's working well, and it could be boring, if it's working well, there's no need to change it. Okay. That's when change can be bad. The only time you need to change that particular system is if it's not working and it's not working for the environment or what it was what is intended for it to do. The results are not there. That's when it's time to change. But the results that you want and you're getting them on a consistent basis, there's no need to change that. So those are the couple of things that I really wanted to hit home and wanted to talk and elaborate more on in the podcast with Dr. Daniels on change. And that's on the Everyday Strong. That's on the Enoch Baptist Church YouTube page. Please go over there, check them out, and like and share and subscribe over there as well. But yes, so let's recap. So how to recognize when change is taking place. Make sure you need to recognize that and understand that it's a feeling in the air. Understand for your eyes, your ears, and your brain. And also do not discount the fact the Holy Spirit will let you know when change is about to take place for your good and also for your bad. Is how you react to that, which we get to the acceptance and the denial of change. And a lot of negative things happen to you when you deny that change is happening, when you just sit in denial. But also when you accept the fact that when change is about to happen and you accept what you're getting and the signals that you get, you're able to maneuver around it, create a strategy, and also accept the blessings that come with that change. And also you need to know that change is good. And it's also good to create change when things get stagnant. Thank y'all so much for this quick episode here. It's only been about 10 minutes, but thank y'all so much. This is your host, CB Baker. Till next time. Peace.